Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's hashtag WINELADS Season 2, Episode 1. So I am Boomer.
And I am Jalap Sibyl Labid. But my friends call me Cal. You can too.
Nice.
I had something in mind, but I thought I'd just go silly. Just go really stupid and just make noises.
It's certainly the least comprehensible of all your names.
Yeah. But yeah, Season 2.
Yeah.
We're having a bit of a change now. We're going to go to monthly episodes, 10 episodes a season. Boomer, you came up with the great idea that we should have a different theme song every season, or every halfway through a season. We should change the theme song so we can be a bit more anime-esque, and then maybe adapt WineLads into an anime and have it like giant explosions and powers and stuff. I'm up for it. Someone who can draw and animate, do it.
Yep. We're going to introduce power levels later on as well.
Mm-hmm.
That'll come into play. It's just going to get weird later on. It's going to make no sense.
Oh yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But we're going to stay away from some of the traditional tropes, such as like the stuff that doesn't fly that you might see in like we were talking about this the other day, watching Seven Deadly Sins.
There will be no looking up skirts and grabbing boobs, and that just being okay because it's the main character.
Yeah, it's not okay. It's not. It doesn't matter if it's a hero doing it. It's not okay. Stop it. Stop doing it.
I wish I love the Seven Deadly Sins, but I do wish they would quit it with the groping.
I did finish the most recent series, and there was I think there was one indication of it, but before it got to happen, it sort of stopped. And other than that, I don't recall there being any in there. I think they got rid of it. Which is,
I was wondering, like again, as we were talking before, like I wonder if that's because the storyline's becoming more serious and they're trying to make it a bit more like the stakes are much higher now, so there's no room for all the boob grabbing and ass skirt lifting and him just appearing underneath Elizabeth's skirt and so on.
Stuff like that makes me like, I really enjoy like some anime. Stuff like that makes me feel really uncomfortable watching it. Just be like, I don't want to associate with like that. No.
And also the weird point of in the Seven Deadly Sins, he's got Meliodas has the appearance of like a 12-year-old or something. Yeah. People are like falling in love with him and go, does no one see an issue with this? Like I get it, he's thousands of years old, fine, but he has the appearance of like a child.
Except when he takes his shirt off and then he's ripped.
Oh yeah, he's like that tiny Tarzan that was all over the internet a while back. And he owns a pub as well.
The tiny Tarzan?
No, Meliodas.
Oh right. Oh yeah, of course. They're the boar. I was going to say
hat.
tiny what? The boar hat. Yeah.
They never fully explained that giant boar that the pub rides around on. It doesn't have a personality yet. The smaller pig has a full fleshed out character.
Yep.
But the giant one, is it just like a golem and doesn't have a personality to it? Is it just? I wish they would explain that, or if they did, I missed it.
Yeah, because the first season was a while ago. I can't remember, but it is good. It is a good series, and
all groping aside, it's very good actually.
Yeah,
we both recommend it.
Yeah.
So moving on, we have another guest today. So this is a good friend of mine. You haven't actually met this person yet, Cal.
I haven't met this person yet, but I'm very excited that they're on the podcast.
Yeah, so this is my friend Ruth Mcphee, who you may remember from the last episodes with Ben Sides, where I recommended her podcast. So she does a podcast called Ruth is Stranger Than Fiction, which I probably butchered the description of it last time, so I'll let her describe it later on, rather than me making a complete pig's ear of it like I did last time. But yeah, no, she's one of my favorite people on the planet, just like a good friend of mine, really sort of good fun person. We used to go out drinking together all the time back when, because we're still in lockdown, not lockdown anymore, but like lockdown recovery, like a halfway house.
I've stopped keeping up with the news. I don't know.
Everything's open again, but it's harder to do things.
Yeah.
So that is the time period for anyone listening to this retroactively. But yeah, anyway, so I tell you what, let's just stop messing around. We can talk to her and we'll find out all about her then. It's Ruth Mcphee.
Hello.
What a lovely cheering welcome.
Oh, of course. Nothing
Yeah.
but the best for you, Ruth.
Thank you. Thanks.
How's it going? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, good. I got a bit rained on the way home from work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
It's
it's
been a bit
raining here as
miserable out there at the moment. Yeah, it was kind of nice earlier because I was taking the bins out and I was like, oh, it's a nice weather to take the bins out. And now I look
Is
out the
that
window.
your one bit of leaving the house per day?
I also went to the shops to get my wine for today.
Of course. Excellent.
Although we are, like we said this before, we're getting confused as to when we're in lockdown and when we're not, because we're not in lockdown anymore. We can go out as much as we like, to see as many people within reason as we like, or not to do so. These are the current guidelines we understand.
I've just been trying to use my common sense.
You definitely can, but at the same time can't, unless it's necessary, but even when it's not. If it is, though.
Wine buying is considered a necessary excursion.
Exactly. I think so.
Define necessity. I mean, these are all confusing things. I don't even know what I'm talking about now, let alone
anymore.
I don't think the government does, to be honest.
Oh, they certainly don't. If anyone doesn't, it's them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so hi, thanks for joining us, Ruth.
All right. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Our pleasure. I've been promising you this for quite a while because we've Ruth and I've mentioned it before. Like I do like a quiz every Friday, so since the start of lockdown account. So Ruth's one of the people who does that as well.
Yeah.
And we've discussed it drunkenly many times, and finally it has happened.
And it's a great way to kick off season 2 of WINELADS. Hashtag
of course, you're on to season 2.
Yeah.
How did you decide? What was going to be the end? Like, did you go, it's going to be this many episodes, or you just thought, oh, we're done with that?
Yeah, we sort of decided around. So we did 10 episodes, and then we figured, I think it was around 10 that it became a bit of a. I'm speaking on behalf of Boom here. It became a bit of an issue for editing every week. It's like what comes to mind is that South Park 7 days to air or whatever it's called, where they churned out all the episodes. And with work being quite busy, it was getting a bit difficult. So we had a sort of a meeting the other day, and we basically said, right, so we're going to now go to monthly releases, and so it gives a bit more time for editing. And what a great way to kick it off by doing maybe 10 episode seasons, because that way we can get a bit of a break as well and do other stuff and then come back to it fresh and get people lined up for it. So we think the dynamic of having a guest on, such as yourself, works quite well. Although we do get some pretty good chats when it's just me and Boomer. I think we found that.
I thought you were going to say, although we do get some pretty shit guests.
Absolutely, our guests.
But no, you went the other way.
I mean, that last guest that we had, Bob Sides, I think it was. Barry Sides, I can't remember.
He's like what, shit AF, something like that.
Yeah, that's his catchphrase. Some rubbish like that. That was awful. That was the worst episode yet.
Also, we were doing it like every 2 weeks, which during lockdown was fine because I had nothing to do, so I didn't mind editing like a full episode.
Definitely didn't just have a swig of beer then. That was a trick of the camera. It's a filter that I've got on that makes it look like I'm drinking beer.
Well, we wouldn't drink beer on WINELADS.
Of course not.
No. I didn't actually notice how much attention I paid.
I did see you drinking something, and I did wonder. I thought, I wonder what that is.
It would be lovely if it was a can of fortified wine. That would be great.
We are supposed to do, I'd like to do we were going to do, at the beginning when we were doing our like Fast and Furious little set, we were going to I wanted to do an episode called The Buck Fast and the Furious. Which I don't know what happened. We were like all ready to buy some wine, and just I guess something shiny was in the corner, and we stopped paying attention to that. And then now episode 11,
The Buckfast has not made an appearance yet.
No, it will do at some point, I'm sure.
I'm sure it will. Maybe because maybe I'm getting confused between Buckfast and Buckfizz. It's a bit of a Christmassy drink, isn't it?
No, but you're thinking of Buck's Fizz.
Buck's Fizz, that's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
Which is just like Prosecco or champagne and orange juice.
Orange juice, yeah.
Yeah. What's the one with the little reindeer on it?
Maltesers, reindeer things.
No,
I know the reindeer you mean, and I can't remember. Baby Sham.
That's it. But yeah, Baby Sham. That's
Baby
it.
Sham.
Oh, we should do that. We should have like a trifecta of like shitty alcohols, like sort of Buckfast, Baby Sham, and I don't know what a suitable third one would be. Unicum.
Oh
That
God,
would never
yeah.
be suitable in any circumstances.
We had Unicum in the office not that long ago. It's
the fucking
It's
worst
awful.
drink. I've never had a worse drink in my
I
life.
think it is the worst thing I've ever drunk.
Yeah,
I was
it's-
just appalled when I tried it. I can stomach most things, but it was unspeakable.
I didn't realise it was a thing. It just appeared in my office one day. That someone brought it back from holiday, and we all tried it, and it was like, this is gross.
Yeah, I think everyone goes to like Poland the first time, like just then brings back Unicum or something. Oh, I think it's Polish anyway.
I think I had it in Hungary.
Oh, so maybe it's just
I
like
had it,
that
but I don't know
area
where
of Europe.
from,
It's from there, and then you bring. Oh, here's like a local bit of booze. And it's fucking gross. Oh, fuck you, Unicum. Anyway, yeah, so whoever manufactures that, shame on you. Try harder.
How dare you lure us in with a funny name?
Anyway, let's move on. Have you got a bottle of wine with you, Ruth?
Yes, I have.
Ooh.
Okay, let's get the wine out of the way first, and then we'll get to the chatting. So, what have you got there?
I've got a bottle of Nostros.
Oh, I like the label.
I know that was what lured me in mostly, which is a red wine. Now, I have chosen a wine I'm not sure how to say, which was a bad mistake. I think it's Carmenere. Carmenere?
That sounds about right.
You know
Remember,
that?
we don't
From your
really know. You
experiences?
probably know more than us, Ruth.
No, it's from Chile.
Oh, Chilean wine is very in season at the moment. I don't know if that's true. I've just
Sounds
always
true.
wanted to say it.
It's from the Maipo Valley in Chile, and yeah, it's a Reserva Carmenere. So, but the label is quite gothy, isn't it? So
I feel like that's the
Quite
sort
like
of
the gothy
label that, and I almost did this with my bottle of wine today. I look for the label that I would always think that my dad would buy, because I always associate red wine with him, and always like sort of almost a little bit fancy artistic labels, and you just got to think that's a good wine in there. They've thought about the label, they've thought about the wine. That's it.
I usually go for like a nice typeface, or sometimes if there's an amusing animal, I will also.
And the one I nearly went for, it was a duck and I think like a chicken, and it looked like they were like pals, but it was like a watercolor, a black and white watercolor, if that makes sense. It was just like I'll get it for next time. I should have got it today. I didn't get it today. I went for something a lot cheaper today.
What did you go for today, Ken?
Well, thing is, I picked this up, and then I thought to myself, this looks familiar to me. Have I had this on an episode of Wine Lads already? I meant to go back through and look at all the different bottles of wine that we had. I didn't get time because work got very busy today, but I went for this. It's a Beaujolais.
Oh, I don't think you have had that before.
Okay, that's fine then. And it's selected by Tesco. Soft and light-bodied, made from the Gamay, the local Beaujolais grape. A vibrant red wine with bright and juicy flavours of red cherry and red currants. Store in a cool, dark place. I didn't do any of that. I just put it on the countertop until today. And it goes with cured meats and cheeses.
Mine goes with red meats and cheeses.
Ooh.
Oh,
So we're well served for meat and cheese.
Yeah.
I don't know what mine goes with.
Garçon,
Fetch the meat.
meat and cheese, please.
Mine doesn't go necessarily with anything.
Yours doesn't go with anything.
Doesn't go with anything. It's
That
a terrible.
sounds very poor.
Yeah. Oh no, it does. It goes with lamb, beef, or even chicken peri peri.
Oh, well, lamb and beef are both red meats.
It goes with meats, so that's
Is it
nice.
Portuguese?
It is Portuguese.
I
Well
guess
done
that's
there,
the
Ruth.
peri peri.
Ah.
Oh, of
They love
course,
the
yeah.
peri
This
chicken in
is,
Portugal.
Cool. Well, speaking of dads, my dad gave me this one. I think my dad gave me a wine the other episode as well a while ago.
Yeah.
And
Did
so
you say it was disgusting though?
No, that was Jam Shed. That was the
Which
one.
I
okay.
saw in Tesco earlier. They do
Yeah.
sell it in a little Tesco up the road.
They also do it in the Spa
Okay.
on Kings Road. Is it Kings Road? I think it is. Yeah. Anyway,
Can't escape it
They
now.
do the Spa there. Anyway, yeah, Jam Shed's all right. It's just too sweet for me. But this one is LB7 Red /18. So because my parents live in Leighton Buzzard, I thought they'd bought me like a Leighton Buzzard wine. I go, oh fuck, what's this going to be like?
Oh, LB.
Yeah, LB. So I thought, like, oh crap! It turns out it's Lisbon, so that's all right. You go, oh,
Okay.
that's good. No, obviously, you know, Leighton Buzzard, renowned winemaking capital of nowhere. Yeah, so Wine of Portugal 2018. Life in Lisbon is rich and vibrant, much like this luscious Portuguese red, intense in ruby colour, and the nose is lively and aromatic with ripe red fruits. The palate is juicy with plums, dark berries, and soft, fine tannin.
Oh,
Ooh.
sounds good.
It's a corker.
I must
So,
say, Portuguese wines are one of my favourite countries of wine. They're usually very nice.
Okay.
I don't really have a favourite country. I feel I should do now.
Well, I didn't really, and then this. I'll drink this. It's from Chile, no problem. But when I went to Lisbon a couple of years ago, I had such a lovely time, and the wine was so delicious and cheap because it's a lot of it's local wine. So I always have sort of fond memories of drinking Portuguese wine, and it's always like I haven't had a really terrible one.
Okay.
You know, like sometimes, you know, if you have, say, a bad cheap Spanish wine,
Yeah.
it's really disgusting. But I haven't had that with Portuguese wine, so
That's cool.
I think you're in for a treat, Boomer.
I'm looking forward to this.
I always try and go for. I mean, I've gone for a French one today. I always try and go for either a wine from Chile or a Australian wine. Actually, I think my dad used to get some Australian ones, or I've seen him get Australian ones, which have been quite good before. I say this was a long time ago, so they may have been terrible, and I was just a kid just trying to drink them because I was trying to be like my dad.
Just happy, drunk on cheap wine.
Yeah.
Shall I open? Is it time?
Yes, go ahead. Oh, give it an open, give it a pour. Fucking cork residue in mine. Is it? I was just staying there. No, it's all
I
right.
should say I got mine
I'm just
in
fingering the end.
Got mine in Cambridge Wine Merchants.
Ooh, lovely.
Ah. Gluggers. So yeah, we'll briefly go through the steps. WINELADS steps. So we got got to look at it. So look at it. Is it? Yeah. Again, watch sideways if you want these explained. Again, I've forgotten exactly what it is we're supposed to do. Something to do with the colour and the density of it, which will tell you. I think it tells you the age of the grapes.
Mine seems quite dark and dense.
Yeah, everyone's looks quite.
Yeah, we've gone quite for very dark reds, haven't we?
Yeah, mine. I was expecting a lot lighter.
That's the best kind.
Yeah. Oh, you've also got a stemless wine glass, Ruth.
Yes.
I need
for
to
red
get.
wine, I always like a beaker. A white wine, a stem.
Oh.
I don't know where this arbitrary rule has come from.
I was going to ask, is there a reason?
I don't think there's a reason. Actually, it's not the reason I do it, but I think you're supposed to have. You would not have white wine from a beaker because you don't want to hold where the wine is because you want to keep it cold. But for red wine, it's all right because you're meant to have it at a slightly kind of warmer temperature anyway. So if you're like clutching it like that, it's fine.
So you'd also want a smaller surface area so that less heat can escape. Hence, maybe why not in a big jug?
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, yeah, give it a swirl, give it a sniff.
Swirl it
I'm
round.
swirling. Can we drink it now?
I hope you're all caught up on your Auntie Donna that we recommended last time.
On what?
On the last episode, me and Cal constantly make references to an Australian sketch series called Auntie Donna.
Oh, I haven't heard.
Well, if you go into the links of the last episode, we've included our favourite episodes in there, or good starting ones.
Definitely.
I should say I have listened to some episodes, but not every single one. So
that's fine.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm afraid I mainly watched or listened to the ones with people I know in, and then from there I will branch further into the others.
I do that with most podcasts I listen to. I've got loads where like I'm a big fan of the podcast, but if I don't know who a certain person is or have no interest in who that person
Yeah,
is,
I won't do it.
listen to that episode.
Yeah.
I'll listen to a different one.
Which is probably I maybe sometimes think I should, because you might discover that person's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that is true.
But then who has the
what
time
our
to discover new
episodes
things these days?
I will.
Yeah, listen to that's it's not just for you, it's for everybody. Everyone should listen to them. Actually, another thing my dad did when he gave me that bottle of wine, because he gave me one previously, he goes, I feel we should get a shout out on the show for this. Yeah, I did, Dad. Go, did you? Go, yeah, if you listen to him, you'd know that. He goes, oh, maybe I'll listen to it. My mum once insisted she listened to all the episodes. Yeah, I'll listen to all of them. I was like, wow, really? Go, yep, all of them. I go, wow, that must have taken you hours. She went, well, they're only like a minute long. I go, oh, right, just the two like minute long episodes I did. Go, oh, yeah, I saw both of them. Go, not the like 8 other episodes at that point, which would total about.
Then you've been like, oh, I've been, working really hard on this podcast. It's taken so much of my time. She must have just been like, what an idiot. They're so short. What's he doing?
Right, I'll have a little city.
Smells good.
Mine smells quite a bit spicy.
Mine smells a bit peppery. Is that a bit of pepper?
On the back it says chocolate.
You can have spicy chocolate.
A bit bitter. A bit of like a bitter spicy chocolate.
I can't remember what mine said. Did it even say? Bright and juicy flavours of red cherry and red currants.
Mine is thinner than expected, but has a nice sharpness to it. So I guess that is the plethora of berries that they described.
Ooh. Mine has a definite spicy zing.
Ooh, tell us more.
Nice.
I love a spicy thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, go back in for the Haley Pellegrini second sip.
Oh,
That was the name of it. We were just sipping wines once and then giving our verdict before, whereas Haley did point out that the second sip is where you get the real flavour.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. It's nice. It's quite rich, this. Yeah, quite rich. I even want to say a little bit meaty.
Ooh,
and that's why it goes well with the meats.
A little meaty tang to it.
that sounds really good.
It's nice. I suppose if you think this probably does look like a vampire's wine, so it probably, a bit of a meaty, spicy tang is just what a vampire would like.
Have you seen that wine where it's got a picture of Nosferatu on the front of it?
Have I seen it, Boomer? I've got a bottle on my mantelpiece.
Oh, I should have known.
Yeah, we drank it and then I use it as a candlestick.
Oh, excellent. So there, thank you very much for this. You can describe it so much better than I could by literally just showing people what this looks like.
No one will believe that wasn't a setup.
What's it called?
It's called Brecula.
Yes, it's a white wine though, isn't it?
It wasn't very nice.
It was a white wine. That should be red, surely.
Yeah, it was white, which was weird.
That's what I was going to say. It's so weird. You finally got like a Nosferatu wine. It should be.
Yeah.
It should be
to
really
reflect
thick.
the colour of his skin, because he's so
A
pale.
yellow jaundiced face. Yeah. But it's a very cool bottle. So yeah, now it can be a candlestick for us.
If I was going to drink a white wine, I guess it'd be that one. Even though apparently, as you said, it's shit. But...
It just wasn't very nice. It was
So like a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, it was.
So not all the way shit, but not good.
It was. When I have a white wine, I like quite a crisp, dry white wine, and it was more of a like on the sweeter kind of a side. So yeah, wasn't for me.
My wine is it said soft and light bodied, and I would agree with that. It's so light. There's nothing there. There's no flavour.
No flavour.
Not really. It's fine, and it is quite smooth, so it's quite soft, I guess, as they're referring to it. Not really much of a flavour. There's a little bit of one, and the little bit that is there is not bad. But I like my red wine to pack a bit of a punch.
Do you think it's a grower? Do you think that there'll be a nice aftertaste?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping because I've had a couple where the more I've gone on, the more I've liked them. I'm hoping this is going to be the same with this, but only time will tell.
I have the same issue as you, Cal, at the moment. This would be a perfect summer wine. Like, you know, if it's a hot day and you got to the evening and then you want a bottle of wine to have. But that's when you don't necessarily want something like what it sounds like Ruth has.
Yeah,
what I would
mine's
normally,
rich.
yeah, what I would go for, which is like, that's normally what I would have. Is something I want it to be like really heavy and almost have a bit of resistance to me drinking into it. Like, you know, I'm fucking big and heavy. You can't fucking drink me. We are fucking will, you dick. And
You want an aggressive wine
I
to
do,
start a fight with you.
You just want to fight.
Yeah. I like to battle with my drinks. I actually do, because like when I like drinks things like scotch, I like it to be like, you know, really smoky and maybe a bit peaty as well. Just I can tell I've got a good one like when I'm sitting next to Shell and drinking it. She's like, "Oh, what the fuck is that you're drinking? Jesus!" And that's when I know, yeah, it's a good one, isn't it? I really like this one. A bit of a ponger. But no, this one seems like it's tasty, but I guess it's not my go-to thing. But we'll see how it goes throughout the.
Now, do you ever do a thing? I guess you don't, because you just open them. And I'm not claiming I know anything about this. Would you ever like let a wine breathe? Because I know sometimes with reds you're meant to open them in advance, aren't you? And then that will like mean that the flavor will be brought out.
The tannins get sour. Yeah, we talk about this I think in the first or the second episode. And one day maybe we'll get a decanter and we'll do it, but I don't
You drank it out of a jug once. Did that help?
No, but maybe it tasted good. And
that was a measuring jug that I rinsed out because you wouldn't rinse it out. You'll be fine.
Yeah, it would have been
I
fine.
insisted on cleaning your jug for you.
It came out of the cupboard. It was already clean. It'll be fine.
It had bits in it.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I think Bob had a.
Oh, he got a carafe, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what it was. I was looking for them on Amazon the other day.
But he had like a fancy one, which was twisted.
Yeah,
so that way it doesn't drip.
So you could do this, and also apparently it aerates it when it's in there.
Yeah, nice. I suppose if you did it for this, you'd have to do it like Blue Peter. So you'd have to have 2 bottles of the wine.
Here's one I had earlier.
And then and here's the, you know, this one's already ready. And then you would proceed, but yeah.
Okay,
I don't know
we'll have to do that.
Is that high budget a show?
Well,
we could bottles of the wine.
We could do it as a medium sode.
We could do it as a medium sode.
We will try that. We will try it if we remember to do this. I'll remember because I've got to watch this back when I edit, so yeah, fine, I'll remember them.
I just wondered what your feelings were on letting the wine breathe. If you had it.
I would love to have some feelings on it. I don't currently, but I would love to have some feelings on it.
We should try and get those feelings. We should try it. We should try it.
But I think the wine almost, which is probably why I never do it, the wine has to be like good enough to make it worthwhile, doesn't it? I think.
How about if we were to buy
a $30 bottle of wine?
$30?
No, never that much. If we were to buy a $7.99 wine reduced in Tesco to £5, that's how you buy wine. That's how I buy wine anyway.
Sure. Yeah.
What's on sale, so that way you'll get more expensive wine.
I think you'd have to get a $9.99 bottle of wine reduced to $7.99.
Oh.
To make it worth the breathing element.
Okay, we'll do this. Right, so we need 2 bottles though, because we need one to instantly opened.
Another one to come in.
And then we'll have one we made earlier.
In a carafe, a fancy carafe.
Yeah.
Or a measuring jug. We may not buy a carafe in time, so it might just be a measuring jug. Or maybe even just a pasta bowl. That way,
just it in.
There'd be so much breathing if it's in a pasta bowl. Like, think of this again, the surface area, the amount of oxidization that could happen within a pasta bowl.
Ladle it out like a punch.
Oh.
I was just gonna slurp it. Like,
we could then
yours is classier. So
we could put pasta into it, and then the wine becomes like a pasta sauce.
Oh. Do you reckon we should just like put some tomatoes in it, cut in half, and leave it overnight?
And then it turns into pasta sauce.
I think we've strayed from the original mission.
What,
Once tomatoes have got involved, I think we've strayed.
Well, I mean, is that a negative? How do you think recipes are invented, Ruth? I
And
mean,
you're just doing like an Italian cookery show.
yeah, babbity boopy. And probably shouldn't say that anymore either. Can't do it. Impressions.
It's a Family Guy reference. It's a Family Guy reference. We'll just say that.
Let's say that.
Okay, how are you? How's the wine now for you? Still tasteless?
Maybe it's a little bit more tasteful, but it's still. No, I mean, it's sort of just. I'm drinking
tasteful
it, but I'm not.
My impressions of Italian people.
I'm drinking it and I'm not really noticing it, and that's probably the worst thing.
Yeah.
Or it's great for like if you're a 17-year-old girl going to go out clubbing in London.
Yeah, it goes down easy.
You just drink that first.
Oh God, that sounded wrong. I didn't mean like that. Jesus Christ. Fuck's sake, that was an accident.
I genuinely believe you. It's fine.
It's easy to drink. It's easy to drink. So yes, it's good for young people to get drunk quickly on. Let's see how it does for me. Let's see what my demeanor. I should be able to go.
Let's see how easily you go down.
Well, exactly. Yeah, because it's going down quite easily on me. So we'll see.
Like it. No, it's.
So we'll see what my demeanor is like by the end of the episode, because I could be all sorts of drunk and saying even worse things.
Do you normally get through a whole bottle per episode?
Yeah.
No, it depends how much we're enjoying the wine, I think.
A contradiction there from each of you.
I think Cal's more sensible than I am and drinks a bit slower, whereas the more I drink, the faster I drink.
With wine, if I'm really enjoying it, it's gone. I think there's only been two episodes for me that have made it into the empty bottle club, where I think most boomers done it.
In it goes.
He loves
Nearly
it.
finished the first glass. We don't know though, because look, this is such a wide bottom. You can fill it, and it looks like you've only got a tiny bit, but actually it's really quite a lot in there.
Everything you just said sounded like an innuendo.
I was going to say, were you laughing at wide bottom?
And even though you got like a little bit, you're trying to fill it.
Oh dear.
That whole thing was the name of your sex tape.
Noise.
Very long.
We'll put a colon or two in there. Much like your sex tape. But anyway, so yeah, I tell you what, so as I said in the last episode and in the intro, Ruth has her own podcast called Ruth is Stranger Than Fiction.
Yeah, very boastful.
I very much probably butchered the description of it to everyone last time when I just bumblingly tried to say at the end of the podcast what it was about. So tell us a little bit about your podcast.
It is about weird histories of East Anglia. So strange old murder cases, things like witch trials, folklore, just sort of strange goings on. We've done a bit about archaeology and strange finds that have been found in the East Anglian region. So just sort of weirdness, really, historical weirdness from Cambridgeshire, Norfolk, Suffolk, that sort of thing. But
absolutely
also
love it, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Lima.
It's genuinely one of my favourite podcasts I listen to. I really love it.
You're very kind.
And obviously, Boomer showed it to me, and I was listening to it today because there's 3 episodes that really caught my eye. Obviously, the St. Neots poisoner one, because obviously he's living in St. Neots. Indeed. And the mini episode that you did on the Caxton gibbet, because I used to live in Caxton, and my parents still do.
And was it the gibbet like a proud thing for all Caxtoners?
Well, I didn't really get. Caxton is a very, very small village. It's essentially a straight line. We didn't really.
Their family tree is a straight line.
Yeah. I moved there when I was in year 5 in school. So. In primary school, so if there's any Americans watching, or listening, which apparently there are, because I've looked at the demographics on Anchor.
That's exciting.
That'll be
hello, America.
Elementary school.
Or American person or people.
So yeah, I moved there, and there wasn't really many kids around, so we didn't really speak to anyone. But it used to be really cool to drive past the gibbet because it was cool. It's like, oh my God, that's where they hung people, or so we thought anyway. Obviously learned that the gibbet's actually not where they did the hanging. It's where they hung the dead bodies afterwards to display.
Just left them to rot.
Yeah. And they also used to be the E01 house, which was a Chinese restaurant that was there.
It burned down.
It burnt down, and now there's a McDonald's.
Yeah,
I remember
the McDonald's Caxton Gibbet.
Yeah.
On a map, that's what that's called.
I remember driving past a Chinese restaurant and go, that's on fire. I actually saw it,
Saw
just
it
like smoke.
I actually saw it burning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was I think the fire had stopped, but it was still smoking. So I think they may have just put it out or something. But
it was an insurance job.
It smelled wonderful.
It was really nice because when I was really picky eater as a kid, I didn't really like much food, and I didn't realize how much I love Chinese food, so I never actually got to eat there because I was a picky idiot.
It's my second favorite.
Yeah, I love Chinese food. It's so good. I love.
Well, join first.
With what?
Japan and Japan.
Oh, right, yeah.
Favorite cuisines.
But yes, there's the Caxton Gibbet roundabout. Well, I say now, that's what it is. It's been there for a while now. But I really enjoyed those. I've got through the first St. Neots Poisoner one, and I've listened to the Caxton Gibbet one. I need to listen to the second, and then I just need to listen to the rest of them because I do love a true crime podcast. It's great. I really enjoy it.
I'm glad you like it. Thank you. I should also say, similar to this podcast, just in case anyone goes to listen to them and expects it to be a kind of serious academic history of these things, we also do drink a lot. So that is the main theme as well, is that we're quite drunk. So they increase in silliness the further through the episode.
You do something quite interesting with the drinks, don't you? Because you each of you and your guests bring a special drink, don't they?
We try and theme the drinks to the episode story, which can usually I do a very shit job because I've done all the research, so I've done like all this research into the things, which I enjoy very much, but it's quite time consuming. So I usually at the last minute I'm like, oh fuck, what am I going to do? Throw some vodka in a bowl of milk and like call it a witch's teat drink. And then it's disgusting. And then
vodka milk in White Russia.
That sounds excellent. I'm going to
it somehow went badly. And then usually, depending on who's on, my friend Katie, who's done a few, always comes up with something really amazing, and she like researches what cocktails were being drunk at the time, and we'll get all these weird ingredients and put these are kind of amazing hibiscus petals went in one recently that she did. So yeah, we try and have them a little bit themed to the story. Yeah,
cool.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good
that's awesome. We maybe need to try a bit harder, Cal.
I think
trying hard is hard.
Yeah,
that's
true. Let's stop doing that. Huh?
You've just got wine. That's your thing.
Yeah,
true.
And it's always red because we don't want to drink white or rosé.
You had a white last time.
No, I had a rosé.
The one I listened to the Bob one, and you had the trifecta.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
That's happened twice now. Yeah, I'm never doing it again.
The white I had was horrible. I didn't really like it. I wanted to cut it with lemonade.
I knew red was the favoured colour, so I did get a red, and I also prefer red wine.
Yeah, obviously it's you bring whatever you fancy. I mean, we're yet to have someone who hasn't drunk wine. I mean, we had Burns, and he drank Prosecco, which is a sparkling wine, so it technically counts. But yeah, I mean, I guess there will come a point we'll get someone on who doesn't like wine.
Yeah, they're welcome to not drink wine. I guess the premise of it is we talk to people over wine. We do talk about wine, but if they've got a beer, they can describe a beer instead.
We're the wine lads. We're the ones drinking the wine.
I suppose that's true. I have said on my podcast, the one drink that I will never drink is cider. I've laid down a rule. I will not drink it.
How come?
I just hate it.
Fair.
How do you feel about a snake bite?
Bad. I feel bad about it. No, I don't. I've never had cider to persuade me that cider is not disgusting.
I do like cider. I think that like every drink, I like a variant of it, like a brand or a type kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have anything that I like, no, won't drink that whatsoever. But Oh, I like cider.
Well, that's open-minded of you.
I'm a very open-minded person.
Yeah, I'm not aware of a drink that I won't drink.
And I said that sarcastically, but it's actually true. I am. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you say there's nothing you won't drink?
Well, I don't know of a drink that I don't like, alcoholic-wise, that I don't like.
I was about to list ones I'm sure you wouldn't drink that weren't alcoholic.
Yeah.
Although actually we've all already agreed that Unicum is the work of the devil.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Unicum shit.
Yeah, I won't. If Unicum is a type, which I don't know what type it is actually.
Well, the thing is, I thought it was going to be a bit like Jägermeister.
Yeah.
But it's not, is it?
That's what I thought.
Bad.
It is like it, but it's rot. Imagine if Jägermeister went rotten.
I'm going to look it up.
And then just like, imagine if it went rotten and then was like cursed by an old bag lady to smell like shoes for the rest of its existence. Then
and as you were drinking it, you were just in like a portal of hell.
Exactly.
That's the experience.
Yeah, and prior to this, it's wandered the earth for 6,000 years, just gathering more shoe smell from all of the wretched paths it's traveled.
What species is Unicum?
It just says Unicum is a Hungarian herbal liquor or bitters, drunk as a digestif or aperitif. The liquor is today produced by Zwak, which is Zwak in itself. It's whack, man. Hang 10. Tubular. According to the secret formula of more than 40 herbs or...
Too many!
Yeah, too
Why
many.
There's so many herbs in it?
Shit. The drink
Just
is aged
minimise.
in oak casks. During communism in Hungary, the Zwak family lived in exile in New York City and Chicago. And Unicum in Hungary was produced using a different formula. Before moving to the US, Janos Zwak had entrusted a family friend in Milan with the production of Unicum based on the original recipe. After the fall of communism, Peter Zwak returned to Hungary and resumed production of the original Unicum. Unicrum?
Yeah.
I want to say Unicron, like in the Transformers movie.
I think Unicron is greater than Unicum.
Yeah. Is Unicum voiced by Orson Welles?
Is this...
It would probably be drunk by him if you saw the state of him in that advert. Has anyone seen the Orson Welles wine advert?
No.
Oh, look it up on YouTube. Just type in Orson Welles wine advert, and it's just him absolutely fucked. Just like, oh, yeah, yes, wine. This wine. Yes. What? It's like about 50 takes of him just being very drunk.
I've seen a parody of it. I haven't seen the actual one.
You probably just saw the actual one.
No, because I'm pretty sure it definitely wasn't. It was someone playing Orson Welles. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Orson Welles.
Yeah, he's just fucking hammered throughout it. Yeah, that's fine. We've all been there. Not at work, though. I haven't been there at work.
Drunk?
Yeah, like, especially not that drunk.
No, never.
Varying degrees at work. Previous jobs, of course. Yeah, well, meaning I was younger, but anyway.
It's going in just nicely, I must say.
Okay, yeah. How are you getting on with it now? So, well, nicely you've just kind of said, but
Good. It's rich though, and it tastes boozy. I know they're all boozy.
That one sounds so good. I'm definitely going to buy a bottle of that.
It's nice. 13.5% this one.
Oh, you beat me. Mine's 12.5.
I'm 13.5 as well. You can't take. Mine's not very boozy tasting.
Mine does have a boozy taste. My nana is she's 98. She's a massive wine drinker. I think she's just pickled herself and she's sort of just hanging on. But
Italian wine.
Her rule is that she only wants wine if it's over 13%. So if you get her, like I get, because she doesn't need stuff. So now whenever it's her birthday and Christmas, I just buy her wine. But you have to check, because if it's under 13%, she is not impressed when she gets that wine. She checks immediately. That's the rule of my nana. It has to be 13% plus for the wine to count as a proper wine.
Do tenants do wine? Like a tenant super for wine?
I was going to say,
I
thought that was a statement that tenants did wine. I was like, no, they don't.
I mean, actually, is there like I guess
The wine equivalent.
Yeah, like the wine equivalent of like a Skol or a Tennant Super. From my
Well, she drinks a lot of sherry, which I guess is almost. It's like ramping it up a bit, isn't it?
yeah,
That's
maybe
going
sherry's
that's
the
going
one
into
I'm not
Frasier
into.
territory. Sherry
Actually,
knows.
actually, maybe there is a type of booze that I'm not into. I think sherry might be it actually. 'Cause I've never had it.
I need to try sherry again, and if I don't like it, I'm going to drink it until I do like it.
Do you remember a Christmas or two ago? I was at my family's house, and my dad and my brother like sherry, so they were drinking some sherry. And you were telling me like the night before or something like that.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
To Cal, sorry, I'm talking
Oh,
to Cal. I can't point. It doesn't work. I don't know where the window is.
Hang on. So
Cal.
for everyone, because on my screen, I'll look this way because now it's like I'm looking at you and be like, yeah.
Okay, Cal. So, do you remember that Christmas when? I hope this is working and we're not like the other way around on it.
On my screen, Cal's at the bottom and you're at the side, so you're just looking.
If you could look up, Ruth, then this will work. So, Cal, do you remember that one Christmas when you were telling me how you wanted to get into sherry?
Yes. Yeah, that was like 2 years ago, I think now.
Yeah. So what I did is I went to my parents, and my dad and my brother were having a few different types of sherry. So I tried 3 different types. I tried a dry, a sweet, and then kind of an in between, and gave you like a review of each, so that you knew where to start.
Yep. Yep. I remember this. Yep.
Cool. We can go back to the middle now. That works well.
That was interesting. Thank you, Boomer.
It worked. I think everyone felt like we were in the same room.
Speaking of Christmas, Christmases that me and Boomer have shared. Not that we've a shared Christmas day. Oh, you last Christmas you came over Christmas Day evening, and I think the year before you did as well. Do you remember for my birthday? I think I might have told you this before, but I'm going to tell everyone because I put it on the other day because I wanted to smell fantastic. Do you remember? I think it was last year on my birthday. You were like, "I got you you can have this for your birthday," and I was like, "Oh, cheers." And it was aftershave. I was like, "Oh, cheers, man!" And immediately we're like, I mean, don't get too thankful because it's something that maybe I shouldn't say this on here if you don't want anyone to know, but basically it was aftershave that someone had given you for Christmas and you didn't want, and so you gave it to me.
My grandmother-in-law had given me her dead husband's aftershave, clearly, as a present.
And you know what? It smells fan-fucking-tastic. I love it. It's my favourite aftershave. I use it all the fucking time.
You're beardy. Like, Boomer, are you shaving are you going to put it on your head?
I don't know why she gave it to
me.
me.
Cal?
I do it on my wrists, and then I do a bit of a...
Oh, okay. I'm taking the name too literally.
Yeah.
I'm doing I guess, and it's
like a fragrance for your
eau
neck.
de parfum, or whatever it is.
It's just perfume.
It's just, man perfume.
Yeah, I think maybe it had been named to avoid it being man perfume. They were like, well, let's call it aftershave because then it sounds like it's got a purpose.
Yeah, what do guys do? They shave,
really
don't they?
Concerned about, that's not manly enough. The fucking men don't wear fucking perfume. Fucking queers. Like, back when that was a thing, I guess. Well, I guess it still is for some, but, it's fine. It's fragrance is all it is, really.
But Cal, that means you're wearing a dead man's scent.
You are wearing the scent of a 90-year-old Burmese man.
Dead Man's Scent sounds like a really good name for a film or something.
Or a wine.
Or a wine.
Or an aftershave.
Or a currency. Scent.
I used to have this shirt that I really liked that I bought from a charity shop, and Shell would always call it my dead man shirt because it was clearly from a very elderly gentleman, just based on the style at the time.
Dead Man's Shoes, one of my favourite films.
It's a very depressing film. It's a very good film.
It's very good. I just love Paddy Considine. I think he's great.
Yeah, he is good.
He is good.
Is Peter Mullen in that one as well? I'm thinking of Tyrannosaur.
Oh my God, Tyrannosaur! Jesus Christ!
Fuck. I don't think I've ever seen a sadder film.
I watched that film and...
Directed by Paddy Considine.
It's directed by Paddy Considine, yeah. I watched that film and I just thought to myself, I really enjoyed that. I never want to see that again.
No.
Yeah. There's some films definitely that fall into that bracket where you're like, this film is, I can see it's a work of genius, but I'm happy that I've seen it once.
Yeah.
But never again.
The happiest scene in that film is when they're at a funeral, and that says a lot about it.
Yeah. Good God, that film's fucking sad. Hey, although I actually quite often just watch I don't watch that many funny things or very happy things. It's a real treat, or rather like an occasion if I watch something that's like, oh, I feel lovely from that. It's not very often that happens.
You get a warm glow inside.
Yeah, sometimes I do. Like I watched. Have you seen the Peanut Butter Falcon?
No, I've seen it. I've seen it on Netflix. As it's in the top 10 at the moment, I think.
It's getting the super rare boomer 10 out of 10. No complaints. Fucking loved it.
Wow.
What a wonderful film.
But tell me more. From the name, I have no clue as to what that could possibly be.
That title gives nothing away. It's about a sort of down and out fisherman whose path meets with a Down syndrome kid who was living in an old folks home and basically just wasn't happy there, so he escaped. The two of them kind of meet together and go on like, it's like a road movie, and they kind of go on an adventure.
Okay.
And it's done something that's so hard to do when you have like one of the main characters have something like Down syndrome. It's done completely tastefully, completely treated with respect. There's not just like, he's not just a butt of jokes constantly or anything. It's what a phenomenal film. And John Hawkes is in it. Just like, if you're ever in doubt, just fucking throw a bit of John Hawkes in a film. You don't know who he is, look him up. He's fucking great and everything. You've probably seen him in stuff, thought, yeah, that dude's cool. It's really good. Shia LaBeouf is really good. I'm a big fan of Shia LaBeouf, actually. Despite his rocky start to like films, where they do like Transformers and
Indiana Jones.
And Disturbia.
Yeah, that one, the shit remake that was not a remake of Rear Window, despite having exactly the same plot and the same everything, only being not nearly as good as Rear Window. But he's actually great since he's become this bizarre.
Is it quite a recent film then?
Yeah, it's only in the last couple of years, I think, and it's just maybe 2-3 years. Although it's hard to tell now where like, I didn't see it in the cinema, but I saw it before it came on Netflix.
Okay.
So, but it's on there now, and seriously, I can't recommend that film enough. If I'm recommending like a happy film that make you feel good inside.
10 out of 10 is there would be very few films I would ever give 10 out of 10 to, so that's a huge recommendation.
Yeah, I'm now also terrified that I've been too generous, of course, because it's not often I'll say 10 out of 10 for a film.
You've stuck your neck out now.
Yeah.
The very least it will be 9.
Well, that's still very good.
So it's still super high up. I mean,
what? We're getting a cat.
Hey,
yeah.
Yay, we
I
love
was told
animals.
this might
I thought
happen.
he'd probably make an appearance at some point.
Oh.
Well, he's doggy though. He's been outside.
He's such a handsome lad.
Oh, what a good boy. Look at him. He's loving that.
He's very handsome, but he's getting quite old now, so he's quite sort of skinny, and when he jumps up now, he like hesitates and then sort of eventually he goes like, whoop. But when you see young cats and they just whiz everywhere, all over the place.
Do you know how old he is? Because he's a rescue, isn't he?
He is, but we think, well, from what we were told, he's 15, so he's quite
15, was that?
15.
Yeah, so it sounded like 50.
I want to give him a cuddle. I want to give him a cuddle. Off he goes. There you go, bud.
I think he's going to make his way around the back of the chair and probably end up back in the same place. But
he is absolutely welcome to join us.
He is. So, Boom, was that your tip then? To watch Peanut Butter Falcon?
Why not? That's my tip, Peanut Butter Falcon. I didn't have a tip, so thank you very much for that.
There you go. So yeah, Ruth, obviously, as you would have seen some of the episodes before, we always like to do not only a pairing of the wine with either, well, it used to be music, now it's film, music, video game, or pair it with anything. But yeah, we do tips as well. So do you have a tip for the audience other than listen to your podcast, which everyone should do, by the way?
Can I give an additional tip?
Yes.
Because one thing I haven't mentioned about Ruth is that she's also a published author. So my tip is to buy this.
Well, you can. It's very expensive, though.
I know, yeah. It's a little bit pricey, but it's worth it. It's worth it to support Ruth Mcphee. So Ruth is the author of Female Masochism in Film, Sexuality, Ethics and Aesthetics.
Oh, wow.
That's a bit of light reading for you there.
Yeah, it's a heavy subject and everything, but
Yeah.
But Ruth, you tell people about it. I'll just hold it here.
You know what? I feel like I've blocked a lot out because writing that was quite a traumatic time.
Okay.
No, it was quite a horrifying experience writing a book, I discovered, because there's a lot of pressure and it's quite, you imbue so much into everything in it that it becomes like a personal kind of odyssey writing it. But it's about female sexuality in a series of films from the early 2000s, I guess. Secretary, The Piano Teacher, Very Miserable, Breaking the Waves, mainly miserable films, I'll say, but
Very
good
films though.
But quite sort of depressing films, I think. But anyway, and I just write about them. What can I say, Boomer?
Oh, Sleeping Beauty as well. You mentioned in there, according to the back there. I remember that. That was a really good film.
Yeah. Amer is my favourite one. The last chapter is about Amer, which is excellent sort of giallo-inspired French film, which is worth watching if you've never seen it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's an excellent book.
I wouldn't say that was my tip for.
Well, that was Boomer's additional tip. You get your own tip.
Okay,
to me, the coolest thing anyone could do is to have a book published. Like, I think that's just so fucking cool, and I guess it's one of the reasons why. Well, one, because it is cool, and two, because I could not write anything that long. If you look at like the most writing I do is for like either an article for work or lyrics for a song, which you could basically fit on 2 Post-its. I do not write.
But I could never write lyrics for a song.
They're well easy.
So it's just different. It's different.
Not I struggle. You could write. I'd always hoped that you would write a novel.
We've discussed this, haven't we? I don't feel like I've ever had the right idea for a novel, really, unfortunately. I don't know. Yeah. I sometimes wake up if I have a really vivid dream and I wake up from the dream going, I have to write this. This will be an amazing novel. And then within about an hour, I've realised that because it was a dream, it's absolutely full of nonsense, inconsistencies, ridiculous crap. I'm like, no, that's not the genius idea that is going to form the basis.
We'll make it a screenplay and Nicolas Cage will do it.
Imagine if that would be the pinnacle of anyone's achievement in life, is if Nicolas Cage was in a screenplay you wrote, wouldn't it?
It would be. Mate, I could die a happy man if that was a thing.
Cal, do you also love Nicolas Cage?
Probably not as much as Boomer, but I appreciate his love of Nicolas Cage, and we still do need to watch Mandy together.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Mandy so much. It's great. I need to rewatch Mandy again, actually.
My big regret about Mandy is that I haven't seen it at the cinema.
Yeah, there wasn't anywhere near me that was playing it while it was on there.
It was very limited distribution, I think.
But it's so good.
But I mean, Con Air is always a great one to go back and watch. It's just so good.
You know, he filmed Con Air and Face Off, back to back. He basically got off the plane from Con Air and just went right into Face Off. Like, if you had a fucking peak period, obviously, if that's here, his current status is probably, how low can I get my finger on the screen here? But that's where he currently. So he probably lives here now, but like a few years ago, he did live. I'm going to go a bit further down, just for anyone watching. My finger is going as far away from the screen as it can.
Mum and Dad is brilliant.
I haven't seen that.
Mum and Dad. It's genius. The whole concept of it is that for some reason, who can say why, suddenly all the parents in America want to kill their own children, and Nicolas Cage is the dad. So he and Salma Blair, sorry. Salma Blair? I think it's Salma. Anyway, they basically become homicidal to kill their children.
Makes sense.
And so it's basically Nick Cage just trying to kill his own children. They're teenagers. They're not infants.
I wouldn't mind.
No one wants to see Nicolas Cage trying to kill a baby. But
I'll
But
watch
it's
him do pretty
amazing.
much anything, to be honest. It might
I
not
think
be good,
I think
but I'll
you'd
watch
love it. You would
Okay.
love it, Boomer.
Consider it on my watch
Yeah,
list.
you should definitely watch it.
That
I
cat,
just-
while you were
I
doing
watched-
this, was just going, "Oh, strike me, please."
Is that your tip, Ruth,
I mean,
actually? Or do you
no.
have one you would like to give?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that your tip, or do you have a set?
No,
or
I want to
one
give
you'd
a
like to
tip.
Okay.
But it doesn't really go with my wine, but it's just a tip.
Oh no,
because
the
only-
tip doesn't need to
tip's
pair with the
nothing
wine.
to
The
do with
pairing
wine.
is something different.
I went this weekend to Virtual Fright Fest,
Yes.
which is a film festival that's normally held in Leicester Square in London over the bank holiday weekend, and it's sort of horror and genre films. But this year, for obvious reasons, it was virtual, so you had to stream the films. And the last film that I watched, I wouldn't really describe as a horror film, but it was amazing. And actually, speaking about depressing, miserable films, it was quite depressing. It was called The Swerve, and it's about a woman who's basically in the process of a kind of disintegration of mental health, and it has a really really kind of paranoid, a skewed reality atmosphere to it. So she's kind of disintegrating emotionally through the course of the film, and it's really it reminded me a bit of Repulsion, the Roman Polanski film, a little bit of Hereditary almost, because it's kind of a domestic setting, but where things aren't quite right, and there's like just weird. But as I say, it wasn't really a horror film, but it was certainly, you watch it with like a sense of dread that something awful is happening. And I thought it was brilliant, but it was very, it was bleak. So it's bleak, but it was a fantastic film. So that would be my recommendation of things I've recently seen.
Was it better than Aqua Slash, which you and I watched while messaging each other?
It was at least 100 times better than Aqua Slash. The trouble with Aqua Slash,
There's no slashing up to Cal, and everyone else, just to fill you in on what me and Ruth do. We have like a Sunday film club that we've been doing throughout lockdown, where we'll just like watch a film and message in a WhatsApp group, just chatting over it. So we watched one of the Fright Fest films because Ruth and some others were doing the full festival. And we watched one called Aqua Slash, which is like a slasher film in the 80s. I mean, it's not in the 80s, is it? It's 2018. It's set in
it's not the 80s, but it has that like 80s slasher, kind of a feel. Loads of kids in a water park. What hilarious ways are they going to get killed? Turns out not many.
Turns out literally one.
Oh.
Literally one.
First, we had to see loads of relationship dramas, loads of like teens having sex in the shower. Probably for some people that's good, but I'd rather get some slashing in.
Why not have both at the same time?
Exactly. Why didn't they get stabbed in the shower? Have you not seen a fucking slasher film?
Why don't they stab each other while they're banging each other?
Why have some teens having sex in the shower if they're not going to get slashed?
Yeah.
I mean, all we had was one teen technically stabbing the other teen, but not in a killing way.
No. It was disappointing, but the ending at last the slashing theme was good. But
yeah, that was good. But so we won't say what it is. We'll tell you afterwards, Cal. Don't worry. But yeah, just to not spoil it for anyone who wants to watch it. If you do, be warned, it's not good.
I'd say if you do watch it, just forward it to the last 20 minutes.
Yeah,
just watch the end. You'll get the gist, and you'll get all the good bits.
I posted on Instagram just a picture of like, we're watching Aqua Slash Sunday Film Club kind of thing. And a friend of mine there messaged me and said like, I heard a review of that. It's supposed to be terrible. I go, yep, you're not wrong. So isn't there like one character where she's basically a pedo and just every year she sleeps with a new teenager? I'm like, yeah, she was the most likable character in the entire film. She was my favorite.
Yeah,
not a pedo. They're all like 18. They're all graduated high school or something. So they're of the age of consent.
They're all awesome.
Yeah. So when
you can't wait for them to get slashed, but it turns out you do have to wait.
Yeah, but the most respectable character in it is it's an alleged sexual predator who actually she does do it anyway. Yeah, it's a sexual predator in her like 30s or 40s, sleeping with teenage boys. She is the best and most likable and decent person in the film.
Yeah.
I bet they think the same thing.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry, Ruth. Yeah, your
Fine.
recommendation.
I recommend The Swerve, but only if you're feeling like you can deal with a harrowing, bleak situation. If you can't deal with that, I recommend from Fright Fest also Two Heads Creek, which was a very funny British-Australian film about a British brother and sister who discover they've got Australian ancestry, and they move to Australia, and then there's loads of I guess bogans. Is that the Australian hillbillies?
I think they're not. Are bogans like the sort of like comedic lads? Are they bogans?
Maybe, but they're, or it's kind of small town Australia. And then it turns out, they're eating some strange meat. What can it be?
It's people.
The kangaroo.
No, it's not.
Possum.
But it's very funny. It's a very funny film, and it's very. It's the combo of very funny, good script, plus a lot of very over-the-top gore of people getting minced, entrails flying everywhere, machetes in the head. So.
Oh, it sounds like a good companion piece to Wormwood.
Oh yes,
the Australian zombie film, which is phenomenal, Cal. I highly recommend you watch that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be a good double bill. You're right. That would be good.
Cool, Cal. What is your tip?
So my tip is
good tips, by the way, Ruth. Sorry, I'm a rude host.
My tip is go on YouTube, search for Limmy, who is a comedian, a Scottish comedian. He did have a show which is on the I think there was only 3 seasons of it, all on Netflix.
Limmy Show, wasn't it?
Sorry?
It's just called The Limmy Show.
It's just called The Limmy Show. It's got some proper hits in it. It's got some proper misses in it, though. But what he does, and he's been doing this before lockdown, he does Twitch streaming. And sometimes that is playing video games and like doing a commentary thing. Sometimes it's, excuse me, sometimes it's doing, he does like techno covers of popular songs. Like he did Skater Boy, he did the EastEnders theme song, he did Rhythm of Your Life, that one, but except it was the
already a techno song.
Well, he did a cover. It was like this is the rhythm of my life. Life's shite. Yeah. But then he also does improv stories. So he'll get suggestions from his the people watching the stream for an improv story, and he'll just come up with they can be anywhere from like 5 minutes to like half an hour long of these improv stories, and some of them are just, I was howling at them. They're hilarious. They're like good things to have on in the background. For example, I'll give you the gist of one, and spoilers. There's one where it's a woman who she's got a garden and she keeps having daffodils kicked in, and she keeps seeing pastry crumbs that are in front of the daffodils. And it's quite a small village that she lives in, and she's like, "Well, we're gonna find out who this is, because everyone in the village goes to this particular baker's to get their pastries." And so she makes an arrangement with the bakery owner, the baker, and it's like, "I want you to put a different ingredient in each of these people's pastries." Because there's only like so many people in the village. It's like, "Oh, put pepper in this one, put like cinnamon in this one," and so on and so forth. So she can find out, she can taste the crumbs and find out who was the person who keeps kicking in her daffodils. Skip ahead, she finds out who kicked in her daffodils. It turns out it's her, and she's just forgetting that she's doing it. So they end up hanging her and setting her on fire.
I was amazingly engrossed in that story, actually.
It's taken such a turn at the end.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's great because it's just living.
This is like a Fright Fest story.
If this happened in East Anglia, Ruth, You'd be all over this shit.
It's true.
But you've
Oh,
got
God.
you've got Limmy on camera acting as this old woman being hung and set on fire. He's just
hell.
sitting there going like this, and he just makes himself laugh. And it's so fucking hilarious.
Send me
Yeah.
that one, Carl, please. Send me
Yeah,
that
check
one.
it out. It's
I did not expect where that went.
exactly. It's so ridiculous. There's a couple more where there's stories like that where it just goes massively downhill, and it's like, oh, okay, that's happening now. But at the same time, it's really funny. So yeah, Limmy's improv stories on Twitch. If you do want to watch him on Twitch, I think you have to subscribe, but he does upload some of them, like the select few, onto YouTube, so you can just find them there. That's
Can
my
I
tip.
can I be a old person and ask about Twitch?
Oh, Twitch is a streaming platform for people who play video games, basically, like PC games, PS4. So you'll get people playing. Oh man, I don't know. What's a popular game? Fortnite.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they'll probably be
I know
playing
about
Fortnite
Fortnite.
on Twitch.
the dancing.
Yeah. They'll do that, and they'll. I mean, it's not just for gaming; it's for other stuff as well. But I think it's mostly used by the gaming community.
Okay.
I've seen
Yeah.
quite a lot of people lately who've been doing a lot of their like fan interactions and stuff via Twitch. Quite often they are people who also do video gaming stuff, but they
Yeah,
also
it's
do,
like a community
Q and
thing.
A's and stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's just another. Actually, there's even been like wrestling shows just broadcast via Twitch.
Oh, there you go.
Boomer, I forgot to tell you. Sorry, it's not a tip exactly, but it's a tip for Boomer. There was another film at Fright Fest which was called Skull the Mask.
Oh, I really want to watch that. I've heard
Yeah,
about it.
there's a lot of wrestling moves in it.
Love it.
I think one of the guys that directed it is either a wrestler or a massive wrestling fan, and then some of the actors in it are wrestlers, and there's a lot of like wrestling move fight scenes
Is
that I
this-
thought.
is the skull mask a wrestling mask or?
No, but it wouldn't be amiss. It's like an ancient artifact of a kind of weird skull head, and it affixes onto a man,
That's it.
and then he becomes a killer.
I think I saw like I saw like a bloody disgusting thing of like things to watch out for at some point.
It's Brazilian, so it's that kind of Brazilian wrestling. Is it luchadors?
Yeah, that's Mexican usually, but I guess
But on the credits,
South
yeah,
American, I suppose, or Central and
says
South American.
luchadors, and then there's lots of names, so it's got a lot of wrestling moves in.
I'm totally into that. I did see you mention that on your
Yeah.
did your little Facebook rundown of what you'd seen and what were good. So yeah.
Shall we move to the pairings and then?
Oh God, yes, the pairings.
Yes, let's do that.
I forgot there was a structure.
Wow, it's a loose structure.
So do we.
Who wants to go first?
Not me. I need to think in my head about what
I have one. So I can give
Okay,
you.
you go first.
You go
Okay,
first.
already.
So once again, I don't know if I did it. I don't think I did it last week, but when Burns was on, I did pair with a video game, and that's what I'm going to do again. So it may be a bit niche for some people watching this. I'm not too sure, but so this wine it's been fine. It's been all right, but it's been a bit of a disappointment because I thought it was going to have more to it. And when, I get something that looks as dark-bodied as this, I get memories of something that packs a bit of a punch. And unfortunately, this doesn't. It goes down fine. It's okay. Would I buy it again? Probably not. So, my pairing this week goes to Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remaster, which is just released on PS4 and Nintendo Switch. So, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles was originally an action RPG which came out on the GameCube back in 2004, maybe 2006, but not 2005. I'm going to quickly double check that because if I'm saying not 2005 and it did come out in 2005, I'm going to look like a dick.
You look like an idiot.
Exactly. I'll
piece
do
of
that
shit.
quickly. Crystal. I was wrong. It came out in 2003, so I was actually a year out.
Damn it.
Anyway, so that came out on, and it was the first Final Fantasy game on a Nintendo console since Final Fantasy VI, way back when in the 90s, before Squaresoft, or now Square Enix, moved their franchise to the PlayStation, and of course now they're cross console now, and they release on everything. So I was really excited, as I was an adopter of the Nintendo GameCube. That was my console of choice. My little brother had a PlayStation 2, or my older brother had a PlayStation 2, but I was very much for the GameCube, and this game came out and I loved it. It was based around a multiplayer component, so the aim was, you get your friends together and you play together. The way that you did play together was through a Game Boy, so you had to have a Game Boy and connect it by some cables, so it actually made it very expensive. But I was happy playing it single player, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great, a lot of fun. So I was very excited when I found out that it was going to be remastered. I downloaded the remaster. I paid for and downloaded the remaster on the day of release, and I went to play the first area and did the first boss. And the combat and all the controls and everything were really, really clunky. And I was like, I don't remember it being like this. I don't remember this. This isn't fun. This is annoying. This is shit. Not shit. No, that's a bit too far, because I do love Square Enix. I don't. If they ever watch this, I don't want them to say their stuff.
You don't want to be on record saying that.
Yeah.
Shit.
No. It's. I mean, it looks nice. It's had a nice coat of polish. It is just sort of like an upscale of the graphics. But yeah, everything got a bit clunky, and I was like, I don't remember this. So I went back and watched some videos of the original stuff. I was like, this has got to be. This, maybe they could fix this with a patch. They could sort this out. But no, apparently that's always how it's been. So I just don't think it's aged very well.
It was shit all along.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
terrible.
I say shit all along. It's now not very good compared to what offerings are out there now.
Yeah.
So back in the day, it was fine. But
It's
now
like when you watch a film from the 90s that you love, and then you're like, it's not.
Yeah.
Good. I remember quite recently, for some reason, also listening to the Marshall Mathers LP.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I used to bloody love. I loved it. And then I put it on. I was like, oh, this is not aged well. Not good.
There you go. So Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is the Marshall Mathers LP. Hasn't aged well. Used to be great.
And it's your Beaujolais.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very Je suis à Beaujolais. It's a disappointment.
That's a sad story.
I'll play it a bit more, and I'm sure I'll
sad.
find some enjoyment out of it, but my heart won't be in it.
Oh no. Oh dear.
So that's my pairing. What have you guys got?
Oh, so, you got anything, Ruth, or do you want me to go?
I have got something,
You go
but
then,
I'm
you go.
worried I've gone a bit over the top.
Oh, fucking have you
Can
heard
it
my
be a
ones?
song? It's going to be a song.
It can be anything.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So,
Yep.
it's high praise, very high praise, but I am pairing Nostros with the song The Mercy Seat by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Oh, tell me more.
I'll tell you more. Firstly, bit gothy. We've established that already. Secondly,
For new Nick Cave fans, he used to be well gothy.
yeah, quite sort of dense, rich. Honestly, the more I drink, not exactly a struggle, but it's a challenge. It doesn't slip down the gullet easily. It's got a bit of a kind of a bloody, meaty air. I think it pairs with The Mercy Seat, which,
Very
to
good.
those who don't know, is a song about a man being electrocuted for multiple murder.
It's an excellent song. Wow. Is it off Tender Prey?
I think.
I'm
Yeah.
feeling it's track. Is it track 1 of Tender Prey? God,
It's
hey,
definitely a track 1. I'll say that
I
much.
think it's track
an
1 of
amazing-
Tender Prey.
It's an amazing song. And I'm a bit worried I've gone a bit high with the praise for the wine, but it is a really good wine. It's meaty, it's dense, it's rich, it's a little bit disturbing. The more I drink, the more I feel like it's a bit disturbing.
Lovely.
That's the same as The Mercy Seat. So there you go.
Outstanding, Ruth. And
Yeah.
just to confirm, it is track 1 of Tender Prey by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Lovely stuff. Love it. I don't think I've had a Nick Cave one yet, actually. I haven't, despite him being like one of my favorite all-time dudes. Sorry about that.
It's not WINELADS with the classic boomer, Bert.
Yeah.
God, what a noise.
I did one earlier on.
Yeah,
and
you did
no
do
one
one
noticed.
earlier
Oh,
on,
God,
yeah.
you
I
did
did
notice.
I
thought
didn't notice.
I thought
It's
I got away
good
with
night,
it.
but this one I noticed for sure.
The best one by far is that one time that Flynn came in.
He burped instead.
We just pan the camera to him. He's like, go, thanks, Flynn.
Oh God. Have you
Takes
got
off.
one yet, Boomer?
Yeah, sure. Mine's, you guys have done a better job than me today. So I am going to go with the shirt that I am wearing, actually. So this is Cradle of Filth, Dusk and Her Embrace. So I'm a big Cradle of Filth fan, and I love like loads of their stuff. I'm a big fan. Finally got to see them like last year for the first time, which was awesome. They did they did an album in its entirety. What was it called? Cruelty and the Beast. They were reissuing it because it was like 20-year anniversary kind of thing. So I had this one already, which is not my favorite album by any means. It's a good album still, but I think that's why it kind of pairs well with this wine, because as I said, this wine is tasty, but it's just not what I want out of a wine. So it's
a
very
bit
good.
underwhelming.
Yeah, so it's very good, very serviceable, but it isn't, it isn't Cruelty and the Beast, which is would be an excellent example of them. So again, similar analogy that I gave the last time I did a pairing with Behemoth, where I'm picking an album that's not as good as what I expected from a band, basically. So I expected this to be very good. And especially as Ruth has such high praise for
I know. I feel
Portuguese
like
wines.
I've been let down by the Portuguese wines as well.
I feel we all have. Shame on you, Portugal. But I mean, actually, I won't hold the whole country to. I love Portugal, actually. Some very good friends there. Sticko and Mads, if you are watching, hello, love you.
Hello.
And I'm going to pair it with Dusk and Her Embrace because it's very nice. It's very good, this wine, but it's just, to be honest, not the best Portugal has to offer. So Cradle of Filth and Portugal are the same thing in this analogy. And often people confuse the two, like, oh, sorry, did you say Portugal or Cradle of Filth? Oh, right, yes, of course, right, sorry, yes, I thought you meant Cradle of Filth. And
if you see Cradle of Filth, you have to quarantine for 14 days now.
Exactly, and I think that should have just been standard practice anyway. Although actually, it's weird when you go watch a Cradle of Filth gig, because I was kind of like, oh, cool, I want to be like it back in the 90s going to, or the early 2000s going to gigs. Well, I just get to see all, everyone fully gothed up, everyone dressed to the nines. And instead, it's just everyone's just probably got an all right job and they're all just regular people. They just wear black and probably have a leather jacket. Sadly, there's a few people with the old Jesus is a cunt t-shirt, which I was never on board with. I thought that was silly shock tactics.
Of course.
But
that was their whole thing.
Yeah, but musically, they're actually a really fucking good band. Yeah, so sorry that's a little bit of a weak one for me, using exactly the same analogy last time, just with a different metal band.
I also feel like, Boomer, you've just looked at your t-shirt and decided from that.
Do I need to try harder?
It's the Kaiser Soze of pairs.
Well, Boomer normally does a really good job. And it's me who normally does a shite job. So
you've done a great job today.
It's only fair that I now take the good job and he does he's allowed a shit one.
I feel like I need to redeem myself here. Can I come up with a better pairing than that?
No, you're fine. No, you get one chance.
Hear another one of those fucking things.
You get one chance.
Ruth doesn't want to hear anymore. Enough from you.
No, it was fine. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's fine.
Well, there you go. So that's all pairings. That's all tips.
Yeah.
That's all WINELADS.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
I haven't
it.
finished my bottle. I thought I'd finish.
Well, I'll tell you what, there is one other thing. We did this last night where we did like podcasts. And I said, I did like, what are you watching, reading, listening
Oh,
to,
okay.
or anything
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. So give a recommendation for
Okay.
people. So everyone, like whatever, it could be a podcast, book, game, album you listen to, whatever you like, just a recommendation for someone, because it's less so now, we're not in lockdown anymore, but people are still looking. Everyone's watched everything. People have completed Netflix. They've completed Amazon Prime. They've completed their favorite podcast series, maybe. So they need new stuff. What you got for them? What you got for the people, Ruth?
Oh, well, it's not
Other than
new,
yours.
but I have been listening and just finished. There's a podcast called You Must Remember This, which is about Hollywood stories. And it's really in-depth, well-researched. And there's a whole series about Charles Manson and the sort of the context of, his Vin's tail and his head. The context of,
Such a handsome head.
I'll just peer over. The context of sort of Charles Manson against the backdrop of LA at the time, and his interactions with Dennis Wilson, the kind of impact of the sort of end of the hippie era and the sort of the death of the dream of the hippie era that Charles Manson contributed to. I feel like Vin's undermining this. But anyway,
just do the best with what you got.
And the podcast is called You Must Remember This, and there's a season in it which is called Charlie Manson's Hollywood, which is excellent.
Cool. Excellent.
So that's good. If you like your true crime and your Hollywood, I like both. It's a good one. There we go. Cal, do you have an animal?
I have 2 rabbits. I have 2 house rabbits.
Do they fit everywhere?
No, they're very good. They are very well litter trained actually. They have their enclosure. I'll let them out occasionally. They used to be free roam, but then, well, I had one. He used to be free roam. He was very well behaved. Then we got another one, and then she liked to chew the carpet. So we had to put some measurements in place to stop that from happening. But no, they're lovely. And one of these days one of them will tolerate being picked up. One of them will bite me. I tried to pick her up once and she clamped down here until I sort of like lay down on the floor to let her go. I did clip her nails the other week though, and she dealt with it. She was fine. But one day I will get one of them on here to show them off. But the plan is when eventually me and the missus. Oh no, I don't like that. Not missus. No, me and my girlfriend. We eventually move in with each other. We'll get a dog and a cat, and that'd be great.
And the rabbits too?
Sorry.
The rabbits will also come.
Oh yes, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. They are mine until they are no more. And by the way things are going, they pretty much look like they're indestructible so far. So
I thought you were going to say the other way around. They go, and by the way, it's going. We don't have much to worry about soon.
No, I had another Luna scare the other day where she just wasn't eating anything. Got her running around. I rubbed her belly a little bit to make sure like everything was working inside and everything was working its way through. Because I think she was over grooming, had a bit of hair in the system. By the end of the day, she was fine. Back to her old self. It was pretty good.
Excellent.
Good. What's your recommendation?
My recommendation, and this is literally what I'm going to do once this podcast has finished recording, is it's a bit of an old series, but I've only started watching it this year. It's Mad Men.
Good.
Watch Mad Men. I'm on the last series. I've just started the last series. I fucking love it. It's so good.
I watched it all ages ago, and then my partner had never seen it, and I've been rewatching it with him, and we're only on series 3 of the rewatch, but he's never seen it.
So
it's so good though. It's
Ben,
so good.
My housemate had watched it ages ago, and I'd never seen it, and he's rewatching it with me, so I can watch it for the first time. So,
it's so wicked.
Yeah, it's always been on my to watch list, and now I've watched it. I don't know why I didn't watch it sooner. I love it. I
The thing
absolutely love it.
I like, it's nothing really happens. It's so character driven.
Yes.
It's so, it's, if you were to watch it, you could watch a whole series and someone would say, okay, what happened? You're like, well, just some people did a few things, and it's so brilliant.
It's nothing on it. It's what it all bases it off what each individual character is going through or doing at that time. So, for example, Don Draper, the main character, goes through this incredible sort of up and down of what he is. Sometimes you see him in a light that you would really never expect to see him in. Sometimes he's being exactly what you would expect. And then he gets better, and then some other stuff happens, and then there's other characters that you really get attached to, and either they leave the company or worse. One comes to mind, which I'm still not okay with. Yeah, and I could tell by that reaction, you know exactly who I mean, Ruth.
I know that's coming up in the rewatch.
Yep.
Coming up.
Wasn't happy about that. I'm still dealing with it. And but no, it's and there's certain characters who you really love, and then they'll do something, and then you'll be like, oh, what? No, really? He's done that?
But
oh, come on, man.
But it's like real life, because, there's, sorry, this sounds so trite, but they're so well drawn that it's like you can never expect a consistency almost, because a character will do something that you haven't expected, or they'll let you down, or they'll surprise you. But that's how.
That's just it. They let you down. And you really feel it when they do. They can then redeem themselves.
Sometimes they surprise you in how brilliant they are.
100%. Absolutely. Because Lane, when I wasn't sure how to feel about him. By the end, I fucking love that guy. Yeah,
Lane's great. Even by the end, no spoilers, I loved Pete.
Oh, okay.
I even liked Pete by the end.
There are instances where I've turned to Ben and said, am I supposed to like him in this scene? Because
I don't think you're ever supposed to like him.
Well, this is it, because all the time...
I'm kind of rooting for him.
Yeah, there's the scenes where I see a bit of humanity from him. In fact, there's a scene that I just watched where he's at a meal with Ted and Peggy, and it's about... spoilers, as kind of by saying Ted, spoilers for anyone actually. It's old now, so whatever. And they're talking about, I think it's either sun-kissed or ocean spray, and he's actually letting loose and having a bit of a good time rather than being uptight and just being an overall cunt.
But he's so horrible at the start, and
he's awful. He's still awful now, and I'm on the final season.
He's still like, oh, fucking Pete, I hate him, and I'm like, by the end though.
That's interesting though. That's because I'm about to go and watch some more. That's interesting. Okay. Excellent.
It's good. Anyway, I hijacked your tip, but
no, that's absolutely fine.
It's amazing.
Yeah, watch Mad Men. It's fucking great. I love it.
Seems I should. I've never seen
it.
Other interesting facts about Mad Men is Roger Sterling.
I love him.
Has on his wall a Japanese print of a octopus pleasuring a lady.
Oh no, that's not Roger Sterling. That's the other guy. That's Cooper.
Oh,
Bert Cooper.
And I have that as a tattoo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So was another fun thing when I first watched Mad Men. I was like, here we are.
What a lovely tie-in.
You showed me that the first time I met you at a random house party in Cambridge once.
I would never do that now.
You did that then.
How boastful. I would never
You just fully got it out. I was like, who the fuck is this girl?
That must have seemed very atrocious.
It did. I was like, I was unprepared for it at the time. I just met some random girl in the kitchen. And that was literally how we met.
Well, I suppose it's memorable. It's memorable at least.
Well, and it tied in very nice to my recommendation. So there you go.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Well played. Bravo. Bravo, the pair of you. That's good podcasting, guys.
Great podcasting.
What a great start to season 2.
Hooray!
Off of the fucking bang, I tell you what. So, my recommendation is, apologies, Cal, because I have banged on loads to you about this, because I we spoke the other day during our meeting.
Okay, yeah, I know it's
meaning
coming.
we got drunk and hung out together and then intermittently talked about the podcast and what
The
to
future
do.
of Wine Lads.
Did you meet in real life?
We did. So yeah, because we actually
He only lives over the road.
Yeah, we live really close to each other, so it's actually really easy to. But I've been watching this series on Netflix called My Country, The New Nation, which is possibly the worst title on Netflix. It's atrocious. However, it's a Korean series set in the latter part of the 1300s and earlier part of the 1400s. And it's like one of those, like other things like, for the throne, people moving like chess pieces into different things. But it's the story of two best friends from different walks of life, both rejected, but have found this amazing friendship, and then they fall apart, and then they get back together, and they fall apart, and they come back together. It's just this type of cheesy thing. It has way more Korean pop ballads than you would ever expect in a series, especially one set in the 1300s. The music, half the time, is like, seriously, you're going to put like Wonder Woman-esque. If you heard the theme from Wonder Woman, you know that. They have an equivalent theme, but for them. And it's almost pure trash mixed with pure quality high drama. And then they throw in like, but they've got amnesia. And so there's like some soap opera traits in there as well. And I have legitimately never been that invested in a series in my entire life. Oh my God. I am so invested in it. Well, I finished it now and I'm sad because I'm not watching it anymore.
Tell me the name again. My
Country, the New Nation.
Awful it sounds title. A bit Nazi.
No, well, it does a bit, but it's basically it's the gist about the I'm going to butcher the periods now. It's set in Korea in the late 1300s, so it's I can't remember the names of the dynasties they were moving through at the time. It's the end.
I'm on board. All things from the sort of Korean TV and film industry I've seen have been excellent. So
yeah, no, I mean, my favorite film of all time is Old Boy.
Yes,
I think that when I was on about like 10 out of 10 films earlier. Really good, so really good. The 11 out of 10 film for me is Old Boy. I think it's perfect. 11? I think it's perfect. I've never seen a better film in my life than Old Boy. I'm not backing down on this one. Old
Don't back down.
Number one for me. It's the great. I even read like the manga it's based on, and the manga's not as good, to be honest. The film's better than the manga. Fucking loved it. So good. Yeah. So my recommendation is My Country, The New Nation. If you want the blend of good drama, amazingly shot and beautiful looking things, interesting soundtrack, which you fully get on board with and everything like that. But yeah, if you want soap opera mixed with drama, mixed with martial arts movie, mixed with everything. I mean, the first few episodes are like an hour and 20 something minutes long. So it's
of course we want that stuff.
Exactly. Well, there you go. Well, it's right there for you.
Stuff. Now we want it.
It's right there for you on Netflix right now. Netflix UK, I should add, because I don't know what's going on in other countries. I imagine you have the same as us, only shitloads more if you're America. And if you're Australia, I think you have maybe less, because I think they have a bit of a hard deal with Netflix sometimes. Just depends on what region you're in as to what you get. But yeah, that's my recommendation. As I'm saying it now, favorite series ever. Well, yeah, who knows how time will tell on that one. I may change my mind. But currently, my favorite thing in the world is My Country, New Nation. Everything about it is phenomenal. It's fantastic, as Cal would say.
Great recommendation.
Yeah, it was really good.
I'm just going to say, I've got an empty bottle.
I think you're the first. Maybe I'm going to be wrong.
There's still some in my glass, but I'll drink that. Okay.
Thank you. So thank you very much, Ruth. You've been absolutely awesome.
Yeah, no, you've been absolutely fantastic. A great season opener and just an all-round fantastic guest. So
thank you so much.
Thank you for joining.
It's been a delight.
I feel like we didn't talk enough about your podcast. Maybe we should get you back for another one and we can talk more about it.
I think we've talked enough about it.
No,
But
sorry, carry on, Cal.
I was just say, but no, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a great start to WINELADS season 2. We will announce when this one will be out, and yeah, it's gonna be great. It's good. It's a good one.
Cheers.
Cheers, indeed.
Cheers.
Dig.
And that was Ruth Mcphee.
What a fantastic guest
She's fucking awesome, isn't she?
to have on the first. That was a great one. That's our longest. I mean, I don't know how much is going to get cut from this, but we're nearly hitting the 2-hour mark. So that conversation, it doesn't feel like 2 hours.
No, flew by.
Is just
Flew by.
wow. Yeah, I do feel a bit bad because I feel like always we didn't talk enough about a podcast. But like, check out our podcast. Check out our podcast because it is really good. I listened to it. And obviously Boomer knows of it already.
I've completed it.
He's completed the podcast. You should complete the podcast too.
You should. It's like, yeah, I love like folklore and stuff like that. So it's and you're a big true crime fan as well. I love a
true crime. I love crime. I mean, I would rather crime wasn't a thing, but
it gives for some interesting subject matter, doesn't it?
Yeah,
can't deny that.
Cannot deny that at all. But yeah, this has been a great start to season 2. Boomer, it's been a pleasure being back here, and
pleasure for me too.
We'll see you all next time. I don't know what that was. Maybe that's the thing now.
We hold our hands up now. That's how it's happening. WINELADS.
If you're looking for somebody, drink some wine. Is that plagiarism? I feel like I pulled a muscle in my arm now.
It's fine.